So,
A lot of cool things. Actually, if you still have a session on Thursday available,
maybe Audrey, that's up to, no.
Closed.
Fully booked.
okay.
All right, what you got?
Respect that. All right, so I guess the first one is just so add up. And then like inhale, second, release.
Yep.
Just so like 10 of those.
Yeah.
One thing I notice is when I rotate this way and I do that, I really pinch that shoulder blade.
Oh.
Like I can really.
You can get more activation there, right?
More
Yeah, because you
activation.
spin that. Okay, cool. Like it.
So I do those as well.
So now add in. So go up, back, down again. Up, back, down. Then extend back. Now come across.
Like this.
Just here, like this.
Oh, just kind
Squeeze
of.
them more.
Oh, that's cool.
You should just get you extra squeeze
Like
there.
that, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then you reset it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Right.
Oh man.
It'll get that low tricep and stuff too. Yeah.
No, that's a beauty.
Okay. What else we got?
The next one is here.
Classic. This one.
The posture fixer.
Yep. Posture fixer, man.
Try to be wide.
Yep.
Dig in and then squeeze.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then, like you said, the right cheek, it doesn't engage as much.
Yeah. Well, and so then if the right one doesn't engage, come back down, relax it.
Okay.
Bend your left knee, and just try to do your right glute. Don't use your left one at all.
Oh, interesting.
Does it work? Do you get activation on it?
I think it's still like effort to activate.
You should be, yeah. And do you feel like you're recruiting other aspects to help with it?
Yes.
What else is being recruited?
Let's see.
You're probably using the heel here to drive, to get the elevation.
It's so hard. I think I'm using my right here.
Okay. And what if you switch legs? Put this one down. See if you can still just use the right one.
Just this one?
Just the right glute.
No, it's hard. No, it's the sleep.
The sleeve, yeah. So what happens when you do this is that's going to bend this a lot, and that's not going to allow this to activate.
Mm-hmm.
You do get activation though.
Okay, so maybe there.
And then relax it, come back down. So now just do the pelvic tuck. No, exactly. Yep. Beautiful. Relax it, and relax it, and then now try to do a crunch at the same time as that. So like you do like a crunch as you lift the pelvis up.
Oh.
You can bend both knees for this one. So bend both knees and see if you can do the tuck. It's like a full tuck. It's like you're tucking the pelvis and tucking the head. And then relax it back down. And then you should feel the abs more, the lower ab. To do
Right.
that. So see if you can get that pull. And come back down. How's it feel?
And see if it squeezes.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It is squeezing, but it's like not as prominent as this one.
Okay. So there's a couple ways we can train that, if you want to ask about that. So training that would be, like we talked about, just a single leg, like we're talking about the hip raises.
Mm-hmm.
Push your heel down into me, and push harder till your body comes up off the ground. And relax it. You feel that glute activating, or what's working to make this happen?
I think like the lower back.
Low back? Okay, then don't turn the low back on. Turn the low back off.
Okay.
So keep the low back on the ground now.
Okay.
Low back can't move.
Okay.
There we go. You're getting just hamstring, right? A lot of hamstring. A lot of hamstring.
Right.
Perfect. Nice, you got your ankle pop. You feel that?
No.
Your ankles pop right back in. I just try to do that one all the time. Okay, cool. And now I want you to drive. Keep doing this, but drive your heel into the ground. Your hip should come up, not your low back.
That and that.
Yep. So just your hips, not your low back.
I activate this one.
Yep.
But this one is less.
It's not going, right?
Right.
Alright, now we're going to switch. Now you're just going to activate this one first.
Just like that.
Yep, we're going to activate.
Yeah, this one activates right here now. Not like this.
This one's not hitting here.
Actually,
Alright, so then, yeah, turn this off then. Turn this off. We'll turn him off via here. down, down. There it is. See how it's a bend? More, that's it. You feel that here? So basically your left hamstring doesn't work as well, but your right glute doesn't work as well.
Could it be both actually? Or is it?
Yeah, so basically
they're both kind of weak.
So your left glute works, whereas your left hamstring does not.
Right.
And your right hamstring works, but your right glute does not.
Oh shit.
So when you stand, how does that look in the body? So keep laying down. So if this is weak and this is weak, that means that we're gonna have strong this, and we're gonna have strong outside edge, because the outside edge is what's not letting the glute turn on. And this reason why this won't work is because the glutes are probably compressing the hamstring tendon, so they don't get enough blood flow, because the glutes are basically squeezing, tilting this way, so it's rotating that. So these vertical angles of the hamstring are now slightly bagged up. So that should give us in the knees. So how we would fix that is we would take the knee, twist, and twist this way. This is the way it wants to be. And leave deep breath in. So bend your knee, your left knee. I crush my hand. Yep, crush it, crush it, crush it, crush it. Do you feel any hamstring going there now, or just the glutes?
I feel more like lower back.
Okay.
On the left.
So all low back. Okay, relax it, relax it. Relax the leg, let it fall. So then this one doesn't turn off. You gotta turn off this guy. Okay, cool. We know what we're doing. Next question.
Awesome. So the next one is.
So we definitely gotta hit that left.
That's so cool. What to turn off and. Is it a matter of just turning off things? You actually just hold it.
Yeah, that's what trigger points are all about. You basically just hold it long enough that it literally cannot contract anymore. Right. So the way to turn off a muscle that's super on, because remember it's just squeezing really tight. If you just just crush my fingers with your hands. Just crush them. What's gonna happen? Eventually my bones will give out because you're gonna crush my bones.
Right.
They have to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically push hard on them long enough. That's why, a lot of medicine is not giving you enough time to actually turn off that thing. Just because you numb it with a lidocaine or analgesic and you throw cortisone at it doesn't mean it's actually gonna stop the spasming that's happening. Because the nerve has to turn off to make the spasm turn off. And so when you do a trigger point, what you're doing is you're basically flooding it and saying, hey, I'm going to remove all of the blood because I'm causing an indentation there. So that means no blood can get to it. But then once I release my finger, blood will rush in. And then the rushing in will lubricate the now crushed things, and they can rebalance themselves.
I think before I start these exercises, I should probably try and turn off some things with the pressure point. I know the laser accomplishes it.
Yeah, laser does that too. Laser separately can do that. But the tough thing about the laser only goes a certain level deepness. So let's say you have a quad. You've got a very strong quad. You do.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us to turn off a quad, we have to not just use a laser on that, because a laser won't be sufficient. We're gonna have to use manual therapies. We have to unstick it from other ones. We have to really move it around.
That's where that manual comes in.
That's where the manual stuff comes in. That's where that's where the foam roller comes in. That's where the cupping comes in. That's where the gua shaing comes in. Each of them, in their own respective way, is trying to turn off that thing.
Right.
Because some of those muscles shouldn't be on all the time. Like when I'm having you do your hamstring and your quad's turning on, that means that your quad is coupled with a hamstring motion.
Oh, okay.
Right? Remember we talked about the nerve programmers, you've coupled the two.
And they shouldn't be. They should be.
You should be. They can be, but you should be able to isolate them individually.
Right.
And the reason that you can't, and that's where the quote unquote injury is that you as a human don't have autonomous control over a limb that you want to control over.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't do that, your posture gets all out of whack. And then so I have to teach you, how to uncouple that thing and then re-establish that they can work independently.
Right.
because it makes sense. Like, most of us like that walk or to play sports, or you play tennis. So it makes sense that you have probably coupled your quad and your hamstring together to do a swing. You need them both to activate in a hip swing because they just both generate force. Just like when you're riding a bike, they do this. They both are active in the same second. So the brain is efficient in doing that. But efficiency is the killer of like large scale things. Like that's how you get like small little cracks like this. You know, so that's how that.
That's what efficiency
manifests.
actually.
Yeah, because that's what efficiency. It's all about like large scale efficiency. But when you have large scale efficiency, when you couple 4 muscles together, and then you have one nerve that activates them. Well, when only one of those 4 muscles is damaged, how do you make that muscle stop being activated with the rest of them? That's the number one goal that we're trying to do in turning them off before you work out. Because, like, for example, that's how you actually damage the same muscle worse. Because it's being the reason why it couples itself to others is because it got damaged in the first place. It got damaged, so it said, neighbor, I need you. When my nerve zaps me to turn me on, I literally cannot do it. I need you to activate with me. That's how the coupling starts. So that's why by the time you come to me, you've already had 4, 5, 6 muscles that are grouping to save the one damaged one. So in order for us to get to it, we have to slowly pick them off and then say, okay, now we finally got him. We can isolate him, find that he cannot do it. And that's why your hamstrings right now recruit your quads to do that motion, because for some reason one of them got damaged probably. Somewhere in the left hamstrings and somewhere in the right glute, something got damaged. So those weak ones are the actual injuries.
So then the right glutamus or the butt is probably weak.
Yes.
It's weak, so it's the injured one.
Yeah.
Or it's underused or injured.
Either one. Same.
And would me turning off my left one actually help the other one activate? Or
Yes.
is it turning off for this to more activate? Is it turning off this one? Or is it turning off something else?
Both.
Oh, it's both. It's like
Yes. Because the fact that when this gets injured, it asks both of its neighbors for help. Here and here.
Oh, okay. So
It doesn't just ask one neighbor.
Right.
And especially because, like, for me, I'm sitting on this chair, right? For me to go from seated to standing, if my right glute cannot activate, I'll have to use my right quad to stand up. I'll have to use my low back to stabilize me to be static.
Right.
So both of them have to be working, and that's where we find the lines. And that's usually where we have to deduce it to. This motion is causing, like, that issue, if that makes sense. Like, for driving, for example, driving to tweak you one way, whereas playing tennis might tweak you another way.
Right. Driving, I noticed for a long time I was doing this because it's comfortable because you're doing this all the time, so you kind of get stuck in that.
And look what that does to the glute. It hyperextends it. That makes it weak.
So then
That's a simple, boom.
Since I drove here, I mean, I was just straight out whenever I could, like trying to just thinking about it. So just keeping that awareness, awareness training.
Keep in mind, what is rotating your foot left and right?
Oh, it's the hip.
It's the hip. So it's these muscles. They're called lateral and hip rotators. So they attach. Here, turn around. Attach here, sacrum to here. So to make this get shorter, it goes this way. So it will go out. Now there's other ones that do the opposite, that go in and force you inward. But that's all. The hip rotation is all in the actual glute muscles. Well, actually, they're kind of underneath the glutes. They're hidden them, and then so those ones you sit on them a lot. So one of those ones that gets injured a lot is the piriformis, because people put their wallets in their butt.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you had mentioned that to me one time before too. The wallet in your butt.
Oh, I can't remember if I did that.
I used to do it too, man. I used to put I used to have jeans, put it in my left butt cheek, and then I would just drive around the road like, oh, my butt hurts. Like, maybe because you're sitting on a freaking wad of credit cards.
What a cat! No, just Benjamins.
All right, next, what we got? So we do have things to turn off.
Okay, cool.
And that's so you can stretch them. So stretching, foam rolling, percussion gunning, gua shawing, cup, all of those things will turn them off.
And also just manual pressing?
And manual
pressing.
pressing.
Is that a kind of an advanced
That's
move?
the best one.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's the best one. But that's what people pay us for.
I didn't think of it. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, so that makes sense there. So let's just turn some off then. So we want to turn off the quads. So show me, if I say turn off your right quad, what does that mean to you? How would you do that?
How would I turn off this right quad?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
How would you stretch it? How do you stretch your quads?
Is it, let's see.
Yep.
I think I did it today, actually.
Yeah.
Something like this, maybe?
Okay. So now we have to turn this one off, and we want to turn off. Okay, good. So where do you feel this stretch?
Right here. And also calves.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So.
And also like right here, groin a little bit.
Yep. So hold this stretch. Keep breathing in. Try pushing your heel backwards into me.
Oh, like the heel?
Yeah, like keep the heel on the ground and push it into me.
Oh.
That's the hamstring. Hamstring won't work at all, I bet.
Oh.
This is probably the hard, like, you have any force generating, you feel this?
It's tough because my knee, because my,
Your left knee.
my calf is crazy, like stretching right now.
Okay, so the calf's getting a good stretch then.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm just gonna hold it down then.
Oh. Okay.
Is that deeper stretch?
Yes.
Cool. So then while we do this, let's put lasers on it. Keep that stretch going.
Is this called the Warrior?
I don't know. I'm not a yoga guy. I call this a hip flexor stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do the one that decreases muscle spasms.
Oh yeah, yours wasn't it like back, leaning back like this?
Yep, I'm big on the lean back. 1 through 3K. So this one turns off muscle spasms. So we're gonna put this directly on the Achilles and put it on the tight spot there. Getting a good calf stretch still?
Yeah.
So that means your calves also are wicked tight. So we gotta turn the calves off, the quads off.
Oh, interesting.
99.9% of people have tight calves. Like it's easy to talk about like the hamstring to quad imbalance. You feel that trembling you got going now?
Yep.
That's from the weakness in the hamstring not able to stabilize you. So this is perfect. Like that rock and roll. What did I tell you? I'm gonna buy another laser.
Hey, I was gonna ask you, how much are they?
The one I'm getting is 17,000.
Dang.
Well, the two I have on you, these are both. This one's 20, this one's 15. So I'm getting the middle of the two of them.
Jesus, that's.
These things are so cool.
Stacks.
The stacks. Dude, it's all on loans. It's all loans. I don't actually have the money. I'm just taking out the loans, man.
You believe in it.
Yeah, exactly. I believe in it, and I want to be able to like hire someone just to bring the lasers around to random people and help them.
Yeah.
But I need to have enough lasers that I can run my office and do that.
Right. My arm being up. It's kind of a cool full body workout. These stretches, they're not just stretches. They're actually like.
It's like static holds.
Right.
So if you try to activate your left hamstring now, like try to pull yourself closer to the ground.
Left hamstring.
Yep. Try to pull yourself.
Like this.
Yes. Do you get more of a quad stretch or just activate the hammies?
On the left one?
Yeah.
On the left side?
Yep.
I think it's more quad.
Cool. How does it feel in the right leg? Does that accentuate the stretch?
Yeah, it does.
Beautiful. All right. Come on out of it. Notice how high your heel had to lift at the very end.
Oh, it's because it should be able to be when you
Yes. Nice and flat. Okay. So now we turned off this in the quad. Now we got to go into turning off the left glute and this. So you ever heard of lizard pose?
No.
So, lizard pose, my favorite. Starting tabletop, and we're turning off the left glute.
Mm-hmm.
So you just start, come into here.
That's a lizard pose?
Well, lizard pose is here. Well, this is pigeon.
Okay.
Lizard is more like this.
Okay, that's cool.
And then you can twist up,
Oh, yeah.
get the low back to move. And then I personally, so that's how you get the SI joints. That's how I get my SI joints in. So for you, because we want to turn that off, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to go from pigeon down here into lizard to twist and compress your right glute because that's what's so weak for you. So you're going to first just get into this position. So the way we're going to do it, we just did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how we're gonna combine them. We just did this. I was like, okay, we'll turn this one off. Next, you're gonna every breath. Deep stretch here, right? We're gonna hold this again for about 30 seconds. Then you're gonna go into the pigeon. Then you're gonna get this one. And then once you get this one, you're gonna go up into lizard to hold this back. And then you're gonna activate that right hand meat. So after we turn this off, we can now activate the right glute.
And those are necessary. That succession is necessary.
But yeah, it's the progression.
It's cool. Cool. I take this off.
Yeah, sure, man. Honestly, I think we should do this for the whole session. I'm not gonna charge you for it.
No, let's.
I think this is. I think this will be really helpful for you long term, anyway. So, wait, stand up again. We're gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
So remember the same stretch we had. Right
So
foot
like
back.
this?
Right foot back.
Okay.
The same stretch we just did. But now every exhale, try to get your right knee to the ground. Yep, it's okay. You can go up a little bit. Keep that. You're gonna keep this nice and tucked up like that. And now you're gonna scooch, lean this back into me. There we go. Feel a stretch here. Where do you feel it?
I think I feel the lower back.
Okay,
maybe
cool.
Up here.
Okay, perfect. And now try to get into pigeon. So try to get that left foot across.
Do I try
Yeah. Fall if you need to.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick this back.
Okay.
Where do you feel this?
I feel this right here.
Here? Perfect. Remember, we want to stretch this one. And now because that will allow this to stretch, and then this, I can guide your sacrum.
Mm-hmm.
So then create space so we can pull this right glute that's not turning on over. Because there's something called optimal muscle resting length. Whereas I've given you the analogy before of, actually wait, head up, but don't relax, put your head back down. Use these muscles to slowly pull every vertebra back. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
There we go. Okay, you still getting a good stretch here?
Yep, and then down the back actually.
Down like here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so now I want you to walk your hands a little forward, slowly.
Is that what the vertebrae does? It does a center back stretch?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
So keep walking them down so you're reaching almost. Do you feel a deeper stretch here?
Yeah.
Perfect. What if I push down? Is it too much?
It's okay.
Yeah, we're shaking a little bit. Cool, we got the shakes. And now squeeze rhomboids.
What are those?
Yeah, these guys, the ones that pull these in.
Squeeze.
Yeah, you did great. Yep, you're doing great. Now without tilting your head, push this up. No. Try to push back down. Rhomboids, turn those off. Push the neck. Yes.
Oh.
See how that lifts the head without needing to use these ones. These are this is called the longissimus colli. They pick up the neck backwards.
Yeah. Could you actually check who's calling? Sorry.
Absolutely.
Is it Stephanie perchance?
No, it's a random number in the line.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And Audrey, may I bother you to do the move, please?
I've been doing it.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's get back into that left hip. Actually, go into lizard now. So put left foot out here. No, that's not even you anymore.
Oh, that's okay. Turn it off. Okay, so right here, and then
Yep. Now stick this leg far back out. Beautiful. And then try to push your elbow into your kneecap, and push your knee into you.
Okay.
And then you're gonna twist up, bring your arm up, twist up. It's hard, right?
It's so hard, yeah.
Because that's how we're gonna get this. And then see how this brings this close.
Right.
So now, relax it, go back
Oh,
down.
it's actually I don't know what you call it, but that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right here.
It should be it's spasming a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
it's spasming.
Yeah, because we're turning it on. My man, all right. And then just do reps of that, touch the ground and come back up. Touch the ground and come back up. There we go. And this will help you build up the thoracic rotation as well from the gaming and the arm rotation. Because remember this was too tight and this was too weak, so you actually had the inverse meniscus tear. So this will strengthen up the injured muscle you had as well.
Oh, because it's in that full motion.
Yep.
It's lifting that full arm above.
Exactly. Because the arm's heavy,
Actually, this is in your video.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is this pressure actually
pressure's
so important.
huge.
So important.
Huge, because otherwise you lose your balance.
I was gonna ask you this on the next session if there could be one.
Absolutely. Well, so now that we've turned off this, we turned off this, we've turned on this, and we've tested the mobility here. Now we can see if we can get the right hamstring, the right glute to work.
Sorry.
Very good. All right, on your back.
On the back.
On your back.
Okay, let me just.
All right, I got towels too if you need it. That's perfect.
Okay, on the back.
All right, on your back.
All right.
Squeeze your hips up. Can you get right glute to activate more? Just testing. Just see.
Hips up, you mean like this?
Yep. See if you can turn him on more. Or is he all jelly still?
Jelly. So do I just hold this tuck position?
Yep. Well, then we're just seeing, can you activate it?
Can I
Compared
squeeze it?
to 10 minutes ago. Or is there any change or no change?
I think it's like almost.
Because remember, we're fatigued.
It seems to be bound with the quad.
Okay, so now we actually have to turn the quad off. So
That's
my
right.
favorite thing. So my favorite thing to do is we're actually going to have you get into. Really relax it. All we're going to do is pick up, and then we're going to do this. So this is where we do the manual stuff.
In terms of bridge.
Yep.
To the quad.
So this is kind of like doing a trigger point, but instead of pushing down on it, you're pulling up. This is much like a cup.
That's interesting. That's what you said earlier, but I didn't catch it.
Yeah, so we basically we pick up. So at this point, I'm just picking up. This is called your TFL. He's the pretty big. He becomes the IT band. So he gets glued to pretty much all of the muscles because he's glued to the IT band. So it's all one big firing nerve bundle. So we just keep pulling.
Oh yeah, that inner one really seems like very.
Yeah. So now we just grab this and pick up more.
That's an interesting way to trigger it.
Because it hurts it a little bit, right?
It does.
Yeah. It feels like a burning, feels like I'm like ripping, like I'm pulling stuff open, and this is how we uncouple the quad from the injury.
Like for this moment, and then.
Yeah. Well, not only just for this moment, because remember, keep in mind, the driving, what you're doing is this rotates in the driving, so that elongates this, which makes it not able to turn on. So we basically have to literally pick up this stuff and then bring it back to then return the space back here, and then if you hold this here, sorry. If we hold this here, try to squeeze your glutes now and lift your hips up. You'll probably get more activation than right now.
Yeah. Definitely
more activation, right?
Yeah.
So that's why people. So see how your foot's angled like that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, when they squat, they either squat like this,
right,
or they squat on their toes like this. That's my knees don't like that, but like that because like their hips don't allow it. So because your hip is pulled this way.
Okay.
If you make your knee go neutral, what you're doing is you have to use your quads to force it neutral, which is why now that you've been training that is now coupling the neutral with keeping him off. So if we go out, we turn him off again. See how that foot goes that way.
Right.
This is what we have to fix. We then take this knee and leg. Alright, let that fall onto me.
Oh, it's that rotation. Yeah.
It's the rotation.
It's that multi-point rotation.
Yep, and that's here. So now try to use your glutes. Your right glute. It won't go. See how your quad's firing? Look at it go. Quad, because your leg is trying to. We don't want that. We want to go.
Actually, I can squeeze it without it. Actually, never mind.
Turn it off. No, it's still on. Okay, but now watch this. Relax it. Relax the whole leg. What if we go out? Now try to use your glute.
It's easier.
It's not on at all. It's literally a positional thing. So if I do this, that hyperextends your. So it pulls your glute too far and it can't grip anymore. The nerve is saying please grip, but they can't grip. If we go this way, that literally, okay, now I can grip and pull.
Or now I can move.
You're
it
fine. Keep your quad off though.
And
Now-
just
but
not
then if-
train to say, hey,
But now if I do this, try to do it. All it's doing is quad. The hip is not elevating at all.
right. It's
Whereas here, watch the hip elevate. That's the elevation of the hip.
meaning that's a sure sign that you activated
The glute.
the glute.
But keep in mind, the reason why this works is because your glute is literally not touching. You can't reach. It's called the optimal resting length. When it's here,
It's
I
touching.
literally can't grip onto my neighbor. When I'm here, and that's what a 2-inch rotation, it's literally physically bringing it closer together so that when the nerve sends a signal, it can hook and pull. The myosin head attacks the actin and then pulls. But so that's how it's a positional thing. So that means that the musculature of the quad has basically become so powerful and so dominant, along with the calf and this rotation, that this is the only way for your quad your quad and your glute to fire together.
Because that's how a lot of the reps I've put is like via driving or maybe sitting, the foot is always out.
It's always out.
So is
it's
it-
angled?
Is it a matter of when you walk or just stand, just try to be straight to
It's-
bring it back, or even more accentuated?
Yes, but really this is where it goes into the lateral rotators of the hip. Remember these small little ones between your sacrum and your here? This is the issue. So yours, the one that does this, which is called internal rotation, is actually really strong. Whereas external rotation of the hip,
Oh, it's weak.
yeah, you feel that pop you got in the ankle?
That no, but this right here, I can feel it saying that's what is that?
Yeah, I know,
Form.
exactly. So now it's going to push your ankle into me. Not the quad. Not the quad.
Is it too active here?
And there, you're doing good now. Keep pushing your ankle. There we go. There we go. Now dig the hamstrings down. Relax that.
Dig them down, meaning what?
Like heel to the ground.
Okay.
There we go. Now bend the knee with the hamstrings.
Bend the knee.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I felt it how weak it was.
yeah,
The ankle.
super weak in there.
The ankle.
Ankle got unstable down there too, right?
Right.
Yep. Their muscles are trying to keep your joints in, but we can see that you have a curve here of your tibia. You got a tibia curve here.
What does that mean? Is that how much?
It means that if you look here, so see this bone here?
Okay.
This bone should line up with this bone,
Oh,
but they're not.
naturally?
Hmm?
If you're a balanced individual.
So this is what we call the grinding of the rotation of the tibia plateau and the femur. So this comes down in 2 notches, and this like receives them, but yours are like pivoted.
Mm.
So we have to So this is as a factor of the hip rotator. That's too tight and yanking you into that rotation.
Right.
So also you have this nasty scar here. That probably has a big factor in it.
That's from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then I also recently, like, from a height, fell onto and knocked something down here. Some sort of cartilage.
Look how big the scar tissue is. Let's call it an inch by 3/4 of an inch. That's a good big chunk of scar tissue.
Right.
So was that like an impact? What happened here?
I just kind of fell on the cement.
Okay, so just like, and it was a pretty deep cut, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because of a big deep cut there, all of the fascia and skin condensed to fix this. So if we imagine all that pulls this, that pulls this, that pulls this, that might be a factor as far as what caused the rotation in the first place. How old are you when this happened?
Pretty young, like under 10.
Okay, so that would be a huge, because that's before you hit puberty. So now you're walking before puberty with a hip rotation, which is why, again, now this rotation is the way that you can use your glutes. That makes complete sense. There's your origin. So what we have to do with this, our protocol would be, we do lasers 1,000 hertz to regrow that scar tissue, and then you basically want to disperse that slack back up that same line to the hip rotator, unaggravate the hip rotator, rotate the hip back in, turn the quad off, and then loop back down this way, and then that way we can rotate this here, actually get the hips, the ankle knee to line up. So you basically have to start, loop, come around, back here, and then figure out how this is involved in that too.
Because it could affect it. It's like a new.
Well, because remember the things that move the toes are in the calf. Like this one here moves your big toe. Move your big toe. You'll feel it. Feel that? Where that shifts right there.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
So like, and that's not.
It's a weird feeling when I raise it, like right here. It just
Mhm.
shoots up right here.
And that's not. That's what? How far away are we? 6 inches away from this, and 6 inches this way. Because when you have an inch of scar tissue, I mean, imagine I cut a hole out of this, and I just had to like smush them all together.
Right.
What's that do to everything surrounding it?
It stretches.
Has to stretch it, and then that compresses this thing, and that compresses there, and then that goes up the whole chain. And that's why if you have like this, and you just, let's say for example, you it's 25 years now, and you're 60 years old, and you've had this hip grind that you've had, or sorry, knee grind, you're gonna have worn down the cartilage in there and the meniscus because you basically were grinding it, literally because they're not centered.
Because they're too close. They're off center.
Yeah, they're off centered, and so when they're not centered, those bones don't sit right in the little holes that they're supposed to be in. Because God was really cool. He built us little holes to like fit your little nodules of your bones. So for you, it's a hip. This has to untwist, and then we can turn this. It's like a deep hip rotator in there, which will allow us to rotate the hip this way, get the hamstring to turn on. So then we can untwist this.
That's when I
All
say.
right, I know what we're doing. Good questions.
The other one is just like I hold the two belts or something similar like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that I do the against the door.
Yep.
So like this.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable on this left one, but here it's actually
Where do you feel the uncomfortability?
it's actually right there.
That's what the injury is.
Right.
And that makes sense because you're closing that. You're saying, I want you to close.
Yeah.
If you squeeze your shoulder blade back, like here, does that feel more uncomfortable?
Feels better.
Cool, yeah, when you activate it, when you turn it on.
Because it's part of it now.
Exactly.
Otherwise I wasn't.
So now what I want you to do is, instead, because what you're able to do, you just like went and like you like force it back with a step. Now I want you to get here and only go back by pulling it back. If that makes sense.
Am I first trying to latch on like right here, or is it a little better here? Does it matter?
For you, I would say like between the two, middle ground. I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said walk back, meaning like do I try to walk back or just try to push it
Try
myself?
to push yourself, and then once you have the spot, then come meet the door.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, like, you pull activate the infraspinatus to pull, because that was your initial injury.
That's a setup you're saying.
Yeah, so set it up, then you step here, and like, okay, now I can push into it, and then you can get your own contract, relaxed session in. Because a lot of times with you, we'll hold the stretch, we'll keep breathing. Don't get out until I tell you to. So in this position, we're just stretching out the chest, we can get the neck into it, if you want to get a little bit of the neck there, right?
Oh, good point.
So let's just hold this. And remember we talked about the muscle spindle fibers? Muscle spindle fibers, their job is to prevent you from ripping your muscle when they get too far apart.
Mm-hmm.
So their job is if you stretch too fast, they'll contract. So right now, we're doing massive stretches here. So if we just let go of this, all those muscle spindle fibers will forcibly contract again. And you're going to lose all the gains of that stretching.
Oh.
So that's why we hold them for 30 seconds. And then, after we've held them for 30 seconds, you, in this position, can just, on an exhale, just push the pinky side into the door for like 3 seconds.
Actually, at the end.
Yeah, on the exhale. And then push for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then relax. And then you'll notice that you actually can rotate and get a deeper stretch.
Oh.
So you're actually able to like pull, so you're here, and then every time you then like use your hand to actually make your body twist more. if that makes sense.
Right.
Which gets you more of a rotation, gets you more of a stretch, because you're overriding the spindle fiber reflex. Because otherwise, that's what makes the average massage or the average session not last, is because it's not held for a long enough time frame, like stretch zone. Unless you actually hold it and then do it's called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Proprioceptive means that you're getting the brain and the body together to use the neuromuscular junction to override the muscle spindle fiber to get the range of motion you want to have, and then it will stay that way. And then keep in mind here, now I want you to squeeze your right glute cheek. See if you can activate it.
Right glute cheek.
Yep. Because then you're going backwards. You want to go that way.
Squeeze in, but going this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
See how that forces your body actually square now.
Okay.
So keep this square, but then rotate the torso.
Okay.
So see how that changes the angle there? Does this feel different to you? What does it feel like to you?
It feels like something right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that really.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Intense.
Wow, there's a lot of pieces here on just this one.
Super dude.
It's free. Like you just find a door. Or
It's
find
so
something.
free, dude. It's the most intense thing ever. I'm
Okay.
telling you, the 99% of it is just actually just doing stuff.
So there's something important about keeping in your video
Hip square.
hip squared and then
Yes.
doing your stretch. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the focuses.
Yes. Because if the hips aren't square, then you're
Is
just
it okay if I let go?
Yeah.
So I can.
We can relax it. Now do the left one because I don't want to leave you unbalanced. So remember, we're going to pull back first,
Oh yeah.
find a spot, and then walk up. And see how much further back that one goes. Because that one doesn't have the injury that the right one had from the tennis.
Right.
This one looks really good, actually. Yep. Beautiful.
It's kind of weird too.
It's super weird.
Keep it that way.
Super duper weird.
It's like isolating it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes if I'm in this spot, I'll even go into a lunge. I'll put my right foot back a little bit. It'll make it easier. Right foot back. Yeah. Yeah, that might make it easier to stay square.
Oh, because
Right.
Because you're this. It's easier to change.
Well, no, because your right glute, it will be able to turn on better. Because you have to actually bring it back. There you go. Okay, but now we want to turn off trap. Your trap is on. Turn up. Push the shoulder blade down. Yeah.
That's why we set up, but I got lazy.
Yeah. Well, actually, we'll come out of it then. Do up, back, down first. Now go back. And then you go into it.
It's almost like stay low.
Yeah, for you
Go
now,
up.
this one, because that will turn this one on for you. Your left one needs it to stay lower than your right one does. And that's why it's really hard to make those videos when it's what's the right way? Your left and right one are different. So everyone is a little bit different.
Right.
And I don't really know that until I can see what that is. It's not easy to find the clues.
Right.
So he's got that one down. I'm excited to work on that leg, dude. That leg is cool.
It's a cool uncover.
Yeah. That's a big scar though, dude. We gotta I'm actually gonna put lasers on it now while we're just doing that one. That's the cool thing about these lasers, dude. It's nothing else that I've ever worked with actually can literally make the scar tissue more pliable. That's insane. It's insane that even exists.
So I should probably also extend from 10 to 12 deep breaths, maybe to longer.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when I first started, I did 3-minute holds for every stretch possible. The reason why I learned that was it was just some guy I found on YouTube that said, if you want to learn to hold a stretch in a position, you have to exist for multiple minutes in that position. Otherwise, you won't stay there. And that's how I found out about those spindle fibers. I looked up how and the why of that, and the answer is the spindle fibers. They recoil if you stretch without doing it for a long enough time.
That's interesting. I think that alone makes me need to do it more.
Yes.
So for longer.
Well, especially because you've been living your life for a long time, so not only do you have to stretch, you also have to undo the other stuff.
Right, and I was thinking about this, like, how do you track progress when you're stretching? It's like
range of motion. That's a really good way.
right, range of motion, but like numerically, it's like is every good proper stretch session like 0.1% towards something?
It depends. So there is.
Oh man.
So what there actually is, it's called the functional range of motion test, and you literally measure the degrees of mobility in every joint.
Oh.
Like as down as to the nitty gritty of like how much does your pinky toe bend in flexion, like extension, lateral. The problem with stuff like that is like no doctor will do that. It takes literally hours to go through every single joint and like measure that. It takes forever to do that.
Right.
All right, I want to work on that leg. Let's get that left knee. Let's put more layers on it.
Definitely feels interesting. Like something's definitely turned off.
Yeah, dude. That's what we're doing. We're turning off, turning on.
And by the way, this like deltoid is really always active. When I do this, when I do
Mhm.
this, it's like I noticed it's like the number one active thing.
That's why you had the infraspinatus tear, because it was pulling so far forward.
Right.
And actually, for you, it's your pec major. It feels like the deltoid, but it's really the pec major and the bicep tendon and the anterior deltoid. They all come together in the same spot. Yeah, there. So see this whole thing, and the deltoid kind of comes on top. So that's generally, yeah, that's how that goes. So let's go to that leg. Let's go face up. Let's get this knee going, and then also we'll turn off. I'm gonna have you hold this laser on your. Actually, no, this can we just do it. We want this on your deltoid. Don't blind yourself. Okay, so we have to basically stretch this stuff out, rotate this, turn this off. That makes sense why your shoulder then got injured too then.
I think this is part of it.
Absolutely.
That two hips,
Dude,
two opposite back.
everything is a factor. The littlest things that you're like, oh, that has nothing to do with it. You'd be so shocked at how many times it's like, I bumped my leg forever ago and it happened. Because otherwise, like, why else would the bone be so far rotated out?
And compared to the other one, it's probably less.
Oh, for sure. Like, look, this one is neutral. You can see it. Like, lift up your leg. Hold it up there. Straight line. Right? Bone to bone. Hold up this one. You can tell that this bone's angled this way, this one's coming up that way. They're just literally, they're shifts crossing the night. They're not hitting the right thing.
Oh man.
And then you have the curve.
It's evident, right?
Oh, definitely. We had the video going. When you were on your back, it was a nice big curve you could see here. But that's the crazy part. In a single session, we can uncurve it. The key then is to get your muscles to hold it uncurved. That's like the hardest part. Is once we put it in the right spot, which of the muscles have to be activated to maintain that? And that's what takes the hardest time. Is like you trying to like build the neuromuscular junction between your brain and that muscle that you don't know how to turn on. Like, can you wiggle your toe over there without using these ones? They're all coupled, right?
Yeah.
That's how the coupling happens. Like, we literally just don't have function in those muscles unless you use them as a group. So you come over. Can you try to squeeze your hip? Your right glute, I mean. Alright, relax it. Now use your glute. Look how much more that is, right? It's easier.
Right, I see.
Yeah. And now try doing it again. Yeah, it's a lot shorter. Okay. So trace this down. Let me get that. Those are shoes off. Okay. So then this. There we go. They're talking. So this is adductor magnus tendon. It's actually a groin. Funny enough, groin muscle.
So the bottom part, or
Yeah, but see when I press here, put your finger right where I just have mine.
yeah,
And,
that's they're supposed to
well, they're just diagonals. They're diagonals.
diagonals.
So this is the very bottom of the hip bone, and this is the very top of the hip bone. So when this goes, they should be, they're antis.
And they always should be opposite. They're not supposed to be up like this, or are they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, so this one, if we scoop in here, and we do this, see that giant clump we just fell over?
Alright.
And then I use this and you make it straight, you should be able to use your glute more here. Okay, the glute's squeezing.
Yeah, it's much more. Even though like, oh yeah, the glute is definitely. I
Yeah,
can engage.
feel the glute
The
now?
glute is easier to engage. The butt is less.
The butt, it can't, right?
It needs. Because I think I only.
Because if I now use your glute now, squeeze your butt up, like lift your hip up, say you're using groin muscle.
Okay.
So if I take your groin muscle, hey, groin muscle, you can't move, and I force you neutral here,
Oh.
now try lifting your hip up. It won't, nothing happens. Because I've turned off the main contributor of it.
Oh, because I've been.
Been using an adductor to lift your hips, which is why it skips your glutes and why your low back has the pressure. Because right now it's your adductor magnus and your low back that are lifting your hips.
Got it.
Because your glute doesn't know how to do that.
So when I do the posture fixer, I can probably maybe if I want, grab that part and pull it this way.
Yep.
And then
Because that's why, like, so you mentioned, like, you
compensate.
asked, should I keep my knee straight? No, you should just turn off this guy.
That's really interesting.
It has nothing. The knee has nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Because like, look, this is your normal, right? As we know, this is like how it likes to be.
This is probably when I sleep, like this.
Yep. This is if I just said, just lay down. This is your normal spot. Because of him. So then, if you consciously use your quad to do it, now you just have a freaking overactive quad, which you have now, and you have an overactive adductor magnus. So now you've got two super big muscles that are on.
But then the weak hamstring, and then the weak butt.
They never get actually helped.
And I only started squeezing it when I was doing the posture fixer from your exercise.
Yep.
So this is only this year, right?
Recent, right? Yeah.
So
then we can.
it's a crazy stretch.
Yeah.
It's like body coming apart.
Yeah. It's like you're ripping us open, right? So this is the slack that we have to literally get up, and then bring it literally back down here to the glute, to then force that back over, squish this back up. Where's my butt seat? Alright, now squeeze your glute.
The glute, yeah.
Yeah, see that glute? And relax it. Try to lift your leg again. And relax it. So bend the knee.
Don't bend.
No, push the heel to the ground, yeah. There we go, there's a hamstring. There's your hamstring.
Oh, so
That's hamstring.
so that inner back part is what's actually blocking the hamstring and the
Mhm.
butt.
Yes. Because adductor magnus, I'll show you why. Adductor magnus is the most slept on muscle of all time. I guarantee.
What?
What's your computer pin?
It's 929 312.
So, you've got your basic quads.
Thank you.
You got your big quads, boom, boom, boom. Then you've got your hamstrings, which are pretty small, right? Not very big. Wait till we get to adductor magnus. Comparatively to your hamstrings, right? So these are fairly small. Adductor magnus is an absolute monster. Look at this dude. This is one muscle. He's as big as the entire hamstring group. And so he hooks onto the inside of the, look how much of the hip bone he moves. Grabs the whole hip bone. grabs the entirety of the femur. So when you talk about why is your knee shifted, maybe because you have a muscle that's giant here pulling the physical femur that way, causing a displacement there. All because you had a damage here. So that turns that on, turns this off, displaced the knee, but your adductor, look how just massive that is. Comparatively to, this is the entirety of the hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Like their tendons don't do anything
Doesn't touch
compared
the
to
whole-
how big his tendon is. It grabs onto everything.
Not only that bone, but the one that goes down. Right?
Yeah, the
This
entirety of the femur.
and this part.
Yep. And so if you were to look at an x-ray, you would actually be able to see a displacement in the kneecap, and it would literally be like, oh, imagine that this one pulls that this way, which then gives you the displacement there. So this is your main factor. Your adductor magnus, because you can imagine, so look at him comparatively to your the rotators of the leg, which are the ones that like roll your leg in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Here they are. They're called rotators of the hip. So the bone right here is being yanked by the entirety of that adductor magnus. So all these ones that help you like move your hips and like that do this or to do that,
Mm-hmm.
they're now stuck. Right? Because they cannot move because they literally can't pivot this bone because he's being so pulled
By the abductor.
by adductor magnus.
So then turning the abductor magnus is the
These are
step
number
one.
one thing to turn off.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize that. Dude, this is a huge factor here. Seeing that big scar tissue there.
Man, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I want to, so here's level 2 now. Now that we know we've got a curve, we have to generate space. Because this curve here is basically causing some misalignment here, has to cause misalignment here. So this is going to give your foot this like kind of push out. So when you walk, when you try to walk like this, look at this angle of the ankle. Look how like
It's getting pressed.
it's getting jammed this way. So what your body does is, okay, I'm just gonna rotate my hip there, now it's neutral. So I don't know which happened first. They all have to exist to have this happen though. Does that make sense? Like I don't know if the ankle got damaged first, or if it was the knee that got damaged
Actually,
first.
I did have maybe a soccer injury.
Yeah,
I forget, because I had one ankle that was clicking.
okay.
I don't know if you...
Probably this one, because this one has like the angle in it.
I think somebody jammed into it like a slide.
Yep, so yeah, this got jammed into.
Shit.
And then it forced, in order to get this to not jam the ankle, the hip has to make space for it. But then something caused this damage, so the independent things all coalesce to you being your aid right now with this curve, this disruption. So we want to go into here. These are like your flexors of the feet.
Uh-huh.
And we want to pull them down and over. Pull these guys up to get this bone to get some space here. It's all about making small, infinitesimal amount of space in there to allow them all to unlock into each other. So if we come here, we pull, because when I pull, I get space, right? It has to get space.
Mhm.
Whether it's from your shoulder or your head, something's coming down. We scoop down from here. Deep breath in. Felt that pop already?
Where was it?
It's right here.
Oh, yeah.
And then relax your quad. There it is. So see, now just fixing the ankle has got the knee and the hip straight. On this exhale, try to lift your right hip with your glute.
Okay.
Look at that elevation right there. You didn't get anything close to that before.
With my butt, right?
With your butt, with your knee also straight. Remember, you were able to do that.
Oh,
You did
yeah.
that this way. You could do that.
Right.
But once we get the space in the ankle, cause see how the ankle being out is actually what is causing the hip to be out.
Oh, no way.
So the adductor magnus is actually a factor of, because in order for your ankle to work, you have to do this, which makes magnus have to work hard.
Right.
Magnus works hard, turns off glute. But if I just fix this, magnus doesn't have to turn on anymore, and you can use glute again.
Yes.
So, how do we replicate this? Because look at the curvature of your knee right now. Look at all your hair follicles.
Right.
So now you have to actually pivot. Just your femur, not this part. Just your femur has to rotate out. So rotate your knee out. Yep. There it is. And then try to bend your knee. Look, it wants to pop. You feel it, right? Feels really weird. Bend it more. Bend it. Less rotation, more bend. Yep. Bend. Bend. So still not fully neutral. Yeah, I would love to get an X-ray of this. This knee is interesting. Okay. Ooh, there we go. So now we have to generate space here. Rotate the knee out.
1 second. I'm getting a spasm right here.
Ooh, where?
Like right here.
Left low back?
Yeah.
Okay, so left low back spasm to do the rotation then. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So then that would be this gets jammed this way, compresses that, rotates that forward. So that pushes this here, so that what dominates this, which gave the injury there. Wow, okay, cool. That makes sense. So if we...
So the ankle injury came first from high school. Well, the scar came first, then the ankle, then the deadlift injury, and then it just compounds, multiplies.
Yep. Because if I do the opposite of it, try lifting your glute. Right when we can't go at all, right? A little bit.
The butt can squeeze,
Butt can squeeze. Okay, good.
but it's also like the glute probably.
Yeah. Well, the glute is what you want. That's what you want. Okay, cool. So now, how close to straight are we? We're looking a lot better here. So now we've got this is dead center of the knee. Now, okay, so now the next factor is we've got the kneecap and the lower part of the femur to work, but now the upper part of the femur is angled this way. So we actually have to take the femur and push it, pull the femur out and in. Okay. So we want to basically turn off the adductor magnus. Let's get in right at the hiatus.
And that's where you squeeze. And hiatus meaning like.
That's just what it's called.
Oh, at the hiatus of the abductor.
Yeah, of the adductor. It's literally just called adductor hiatus as a whole. So you just get your fingers in the hole and just like move the whole thing with it.
That's crazy work.
Yeah.
This is master level.
Something like that, man. Okay, so we got in that hole right there, right? So see how this is the one, and there's the other one. So I go in between to isolate just this one, because this one actually pulls on the femur itself.
Interesting.
So if we grab right at the femur level, I can get the most amount of like force equals distance times length on effect on this.
Oh, the leverage.
The leverage, exactly. So now what I can do is I push your knee, your ankle that way, rotate this out, get him in his full, like, nice, lengthened out position, make him super long.
Because longer means weaker.
And then I want to shorten him. And I want you to do this. I want him short now. Now I have him as short as possible. Feel how grumpy that dude is?
Yeah.
He is strong. He just kicked this right out. Push your ankle into like that way.
Okay.
Yep, here we go. Keep going ankle. Yep. Now do glute. It's okay if you get hamstring, it's fine too. See how now you got glute and hamstring working together.
Oh, 1 sec, sorry.
So you've uncoupled quad and now you've coupled glute and hammy. This is what you want.
Oh, they should be together.
They should be together. We want them together.
Ah.
Because right now I'm not allowed. Quad can't turn on anymore.
Oh, so when there's a spasm and you press it, you deactivate the spasm?
Yes. Yep. So keep going out into me. Now lift the glute up.
Lift the glute up.
Yep. You squeeze the glute. Let's try to elevate the hip. Like lift it off the table. Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah. What are you feeling?
Right there. That's
Right where I'm
spasm
at,
is,
right? Yep.
Spasm is nuts.
Okay, and relax it. Now we're gonna take you off. We're gonna actually go for an adductor magnus stretch then.
Okay.
Tell me when you get a good stretch here.
And this and this.
Yep. Watch the hips coming up. Watch how hard. Relax it, relax it. I'm gonna push it down. You get a good stretch there.
Right here.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
Like a little bit, yeah.
Let that leg fall. There we go. Is that more of a stretch there?
No.
No. Okay. Interesting. Well, it's fully stretched. Huh. Okay.
I guess I don't know that it.
You just can't feel it. Yeah.
I don't even know that I have it.
That's crazy. So
Oh shit.
now we have to just put pressure on it.
Okay.
Because when you can't feel it, we just put pressure on it just to make you feel it. So this is where the pain comes in. Like, oh, we have to like.
That's okay. It's just
Let that leg fall. There we go. See if we can turn off that whole leg. Let it collapse. There's Magnus right here. He's huge. He's literally just a giant clump. And we can hook up. Involve psoas. Here he is. See how you're holding on.
It's starts to engage.
It gets, yeah.
It's trying to survive.
It's trying to defend itself. It's scared. Gets all spooked.
That's where you need to get some straps for the people you work on.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna strap you in.
Well, no, that's actually where we do. So that means the practitioner's doing a bad job. If I'm making your central nervous system defend itself, that means I'm being a bad practitioner.
Mm.
So my goal now is to basically find this position that I can get this to work without activating your central nervous system in a defensive position.
Mm.
And that's where we, can use a laser to calm the brain. We can use a laser locally, or we do what's basically called exposure therapy. You hold a stretch for 3 minutes. You just exist there. Just exist there. And then eventually you no longer feel the need to defend yourself. And that means that the pressure I'm doing can just be gentle now, because you're going to start to feel my fingers just like kind of walking around versus having to like wake them up, if that makes sense. The first is like wake up, wake up, wake up. And then now it's a matter of exist here. It's okay. We don't need to defend ourselves. So now that we're existing here with the stretch here, we can go into here and say, hey, we want you off. And we just start giving him a little bit of relief. Saying, hey, this whole thing, we can turn you off. We don't need you anymore.
What are you turning off there?
IT band, TFL.
And the IT band is active in conjunction with the Maximus?
With the Magnus?
The Magnus?
Kind of, yeah, because he's, a lot. He's damaged from here. That's what was damaged, is IT band. Got damaged because he attaches here.
Mm-hmm.
And but really, IT band is the one that defends you. Like when you were just freaking out, that was IT band defending you, saying, I want to not get injured right now.
And right now, are you saying it's too tight?
Yeah.
Because it's pushing this here, and you want this to be there.
Mm-hmm. And so now, where we just go back into the same old loop of, this is called skin rolling. but really like 99% of it is exposure therapy. Forcing the stretch at home, having me force it, having the laser turn it off.
Yeah, I'll
Like I
definitely-
bet this hurts.
It does.
Yeah, like it's really just this. That's all I'm doing. But that's the problem. That's the issue with your IT band. I should be able to pick up
Easily.
your skin. I can't.
Oh, when something is too tight, that area is like damaged.
It's dense.
It's dense.
Super dense.
Dense means stiff.
Stiff. Yep.
Just like nothing should be stiff.
Mm-hmm.
We should be like Conor McGregor type.
Exactly. Well, that's where you get the muscle optimal resting length. Right now, this muscle is in a hyper-contracted state. So if I try to pull space up, there's no space to go.
Right.
If I'm here, there's mobility to move that I can pick up and move.
Right.
But basically, that's how you actually really can relate. Like based upon like it's called I don't even know. It's like tensile strength or tensile like flexibility. Like you look at this for example. See how much we can get there
Yeah.
versus we'll get a lot more over here.
Uh huh.
So that means this is tighter than this one is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do that on every joint.
It's a great test. It's almost like
And you can feel this. Like this actually is tight too.
it's crazy tight.
Yeah. So like that just goes to like your whole legs are super tight,
Okay, so it's
but not your hamstrings. Cause look, now with the hamstring,
it's easier to grip.
so
more.
easy to grip that.
Okay,
Super
but that
easy.
also means it's weak. It could mean it's weak.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean weak. It means it's not hyper compressed. Because it's
Oh.
not always a bad thing. Remember, it's not that your hamstrings are particularly weak. They're weak relative to these.
Something that's too strong.
Something that's too strong. But that doesn't actually necessarily mean that your hamstrings themselves are weak. Like if you went and did like a hamstring isolate, you could probably do a good hamstring workload.
The one where I stand and I bend down to touch the floor,
Mhm.
those are actually, they stretch, I think, the hamstring really hard.
Yeah, I bet. Like there's actually a guy I know that he uses. Where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. But he literally buys like non-stick cooking sheet, like like it's like rubberized stuff, and he'll like put it and like use that to get grip. To do what I'm doing right now, to like pick up the
On
skin.
himself or his patients?
Both.
Okay.
But I mean now as we go up, as you notice we go up, we can get more and more. Right? Because we pull. Here I get more.
Right.
So here is the beginning of like, this is no longer the problem, so I either have to go down,
Oh,
or do I go up? Up is not a big deal, down's the problem, right? If you
Okay.
heard that, you felt that, right?
yeah.
So down is now the limiting factor. Look how little I can get here.
Right. That's insane.
And if I get more, it'll hurt, right? That hurts a lot more than
It
it's,
is.
yeah. So we're gonna walk our way up. So we can find the next spot. And this is how we know this is the under loop down, around to the underside of where adductor magnus is over there.
It's connected to it.
Connected adductor magnus.
That's the path of like, that's the strong path it built.
This
That's
is
the
the functional pattern that you have to walk, play tennis, exist, drive, to live your life. This is how you have coupled your life. You've coupled TFL, upper quad, lateral hamstring, IT band with adductor magnus, and because the adductor magnus is the strongest of those clumps, you get the knee rotation. And then the knee rotation paired with the fact that you had the ankle injury hyper accentuated it and gave you the knee torsion.
It's crazy. That's interesting.
What's your passcode again?
929312. Thank you.
I'm super on time, Audrey, I know. Alright, now we're gonna see if we can pop your hip. So this is one that I invented myself. I did this, so take a deep breath in. And exhale. Tell me about a good hammy stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the timer going. We'll do a solid 35 seconds per side. So if you want something cool, you can look at my posture right now and see how like it doesn't look that great. But if I just use my spine and I do this, it brings my head up without me having to like bring my head.
So that's how we should bring our head back.
Yes.
Is using the spine.
Using the spine.
Otherwise, you're
You're using your neck muscles,
too much.
which are super little. You should use the spinal muscles to pull your head back.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
That's not a thing that I know until today.
Until today.
I hope I don't forget.
Cool. Big breath in. Resist me at the foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. There we go. Tell me when you get a glute stretch in the left glute. And see how now I'm just walking through the exact same thing, like piriformis around there,
Okay. Outside.
like a pigeon pose.
Oh right.
I'm now doing the same loop as before. I just had your hip off the table, stretch that one.
Yeah.
Now we stretch your left hamstring, we stretch your piriformis and lateral hip. And then one.
It's the piriformis stretch out here.
Yeah.
That's the like
Maybe
it's definitely stretched, but it's like not.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because we need to make space now in the left glute, the left hip, to allow the right glute to stick back. Because the whole goal of today has been turn on the right glute. This entire hour and 25 minutes has been like, let's turn on the right glute. Okay, now we're gonna go into groin. Tell me about groin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna hold that. So I catch myself all the time, like look at my posture right now, like my hips are not good. So what I do, I like pull, tug, pull, out the
This one
posture.
shows here.
Perfect. Deep breath in. Squeeze your legs. Squeeze them together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Shorten it again. Lengthen it. Tell me when we get to the max.
Yep, and it's activating right here.
Beautiful. Deep breath in. Heel to ground. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Oh, that's not it. How did that feel for you?
Yeah, it's waking up.
It's on?
It's spasming like crazy.
Perfect. Let it spasm.
Spasming is okay, right? It's not gonna like do hurt anything.
Mhm.
Even
We want the spasm. Because spasming means that there's electrical activity happening. That's what we want.
That's
Because right now you couldn't do it before.
right.
Because right now your knee is straight and you're activating it and it's spasming. Alright, we're gonna go out again into groin.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty big, right?
Yeah,
Not too much?
that's good.
Alright. I want you to exhale, heel to ground. Harder. 3, harder. 2, 1, and relax it.
Oh wow. It almost probably snapped.
Yeah, I was almost ready for it. Now we do the same thing over here. Tell me when.
Okay.
Posture was bad again. I catch myself. It's so easy to forget, dude. That's the thing. I don't get to not exist in these rules too. These rules suck. I have to remember all the time about all the things.
You're always in a greater entropy when you're pressing.
Exactly. And so like then I have to think about like, just using my hip to like lean this way. Tell me when.
Pretty good.
Or deep breath in. Heel to ground. 3, 2, 1, and relax.
Wow.
She's on now, right? It worked. Okay, so now he's on. So that's how we turn off the right ones and turn on the right ones. Masterclass. Let's get you up, man, because my next class.
Alright, buddy. Thank you so
Let
much.
me get
man.
you some water.
Thank
And
you.
I record this whole one, so I'm just gonna post this as like an listed video, and you can just like look back at it whenever you want.
Perfect, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Because I wanted to do that because I feel like otherwise I just won't